As adults leading the 4-H program, we play a big part in teaching young people to be good leaders and citizens. If we are good stewards of the organization and take steps to protect young people, they learn from that. Let's begin with stewardship. Stewardship refers to the organization's resources and is a very important part of 4-H work for volunteers, youth, and staff. Good stewardship is about accountability, responsibility, and setting clear expectations. 4-H is owned by the public. It carries a tax-exempt status and is designated as public because it receives a substantial part of funding from federal, state, and local resources. This public nature means that staff and volunteers have certain responsibilities that go with the use of the 4-H name and emblem. Responsibilities that include program, human, and fiscal stewardship. Volunteers and members of 4-H clubs, federations, and committees, and other groups are responsible not only to their own group, but also to the university and the public at large.
Being a public organization means that programs conducted by 4-H must be open to all regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation, religion, and more. We must ensure that programs have welcoming environments and that they reflect the demographics of communities. Good program stewardship means that all efforts associated with the 4-H name and emblem offer learning opportunities of the highest quality and that they are organized for the sole purpose of educating young people to learn leadership, citizenship, and other life skills.
4-H is a publicly owned program, and it has a responsibility to deliver quality youth development experiences for young people. We can usually very easily talk about the value of the program to those members and to their families, but because 4-H is a public investment, it must also deliver public value, benefits to community members not directly a part of the program. In order to deliver public value, we must make sure that we are not simply providing private benefits to individual young people, but also providing benefits to the community in which those young people live. Public value might include the work that 4-H members provide to improve the community through service learning activities, or members later having leadership skills and motivation to support their communities as adults. No matter what your position as a volunteer, you must exercise your responsibilities consistent with policies and procedures that serve the best interests of the young people and the communities in which they live. The name and emblem of 4-H is a copyrighted trademark, and all 4-H groups must follow federal and state policies and rules regarding its use. For example, if you raise money in the name of 4-H, you are responsible for protecting the good name of 4-H. You are responsible for both how the money is raised and how it is used. All monies raised using the 4-H name must be used only for 4-H activities, education, and character building. No contracts of any kind may be signed by volunteers on behalf of 4-H. If you are interested in fundraising or entering into any type of contract on behalf of 4-H, you will need to talk with your county 4-H staff about appropriate steps. Staff members are authorized to use the name and emblem. Annually chartered 4-H clubs and 4-H federations can use the name and emblem and can offer tax exemption status to their donors and contributors. Other groups, such as the Minnesota 4-H Foundation and camps, can use the name and emblem by special agreement.
Along with good stewardship practices, 4-H volunteers need to know about and follow good risk management practices. A risk is any uncertainty about an event that threatens an organization's ability to accomplish its mission. Risk covers the many unexpected incidents that can happen to the participants, the spectators, the properties, or even the reputation of 4-H. Risk management in 4-H includes emergency procedures, supervision of young people, volunteer screening and other policies, appropriate levels of insurance, record keeping, and use of vehicles and equipment in support of the program. As a volunteer, you will be asked to plan for the unexpected as much as possible. While you plan an event or activity, take time to consider the risks and develop a risk management plan. Be sure to follow established program guidelines. Never hesitate to ask for help or for clarification from staff. And finally, do what a reasonable, cautious person would do.
There are specific volunteer policies in place to ensure the safety of young people in 4-H. First of all volunteers are screened and periodically rescreened based on their responsibilities for and interaction with young people. When you meet with 4-H staff to be matched with your volunteer position, You will need to find out more about what level of screening is necessary for your role. Results of the screening are confidential. This volunteer orientation, training for your position, and support from other volunteers and staff all assist in your success with your volunteer position. All volunteers are required to adhere to the state's Volunteer Code of Conduct when serving as a volunteer. This code is found on the volunteer application as well as on the Minnesota 4-H volunteer website.
4-H volunteers typically spend much of their volunteer time with young people. The Minnesota 4-H adult-to-youth ratio policy says that each volunteer may extend youth development opportunities and environments to up to 10 youth. Certain higher risk activities call for more adults, and chaperoning situations have added age requirements for volunteers. An adult volunteer should not be alone with a youth without the advance written permission of the youth's parents, unless, of course, the youth is the volunteer's own child. Health information, reports of incidents, and other information that you may receive about individual youth or families must be treated as confidential. However, volunteers should be attentive to the physical and emotional state of all children participating in programs. Signs of injury or suspected child abuse or neglect should be reported to local law enforcement authorities. Volunteers should contact the 4-H staff member in charge.
The University of Minnesota provides general, professional, and product liability insurance. The County 4-H program is expected to purchase accident insurance for all 4-H members and volunteers. Individuals are personally responsible for events held on their property. Insurance for vehicles follows the owner regardless of who is driving.
No matter how many risk management steps we take, accidents and emergencies can occur. If an emergency occurs with a 4-H member or volunteer, responsible volunteers must ensure that emergency care has been provided. Be sure to contact 4-H program staff as well.
It is important for all volunteers to understand that they are responsible to know and follow the policies that coincide with their volunteer positions. We hope you have learned a little more about what you need to know about stewardship, 4-H as a public organization, and important risk management practices in our program that will help you accomplish 4-H's mission with young people. Please review the Minnesota 4-H Volunteer Code of Conduct on the Minnesota 4-H Volunteer website and contact your local 4-H staff if you have questions. That concludes Unit 4 and leaves just one more unit to go in this orientation. That covers resources available to you as a volunteer.